This video is something I just kind of came up with when I was out at the range the other day. I originally went out there to test the curve bullet, and I took both my Remington and my Colt 1860. So I tested the curve bullet, and then I realized I still had the paper cartridges in my ammo box, that when I was doing 100 yards with the walker, I tried shooting them in 1860 and got a build up of pressure that blew the caps down, and it had such a terrible cap jam I had to go and unload the cylinder and disassemble this pistol to get that cap jam free. Okay. So I thought, after I got done with the curve, that this would be the time to test them Slix Shot nipples, would be to run the remainder of these combustible paper cartridges, because I noticed that there is a buildup. The base of the cartridge, no matter what you use, okay, still stays somewhat intact and builds up at the very bottom of the cylinder. But the cap does blow a hole through them. When I pull them out, you can see the hole clean through the bases. But I believe that this creates extra pressure, and that pressure exerts itself through the nipple to the cap, and that's why I had that catastrophic cap jam. I mean, the thing got down there, and then the hammer come back, it was wedged in there. I had to take pressure off the mainspring to get the hammer loose to get the cap out. So I thought this would be an ideal time while I'm testing to see how these Slix Shot nipples work. And all of the cartridges that I used were made either with the Cross, and some of them were made with Guns of the West, and I forget, I think some of them I even made with Cap and Balls mandrel. And I also had a couple of Cap and Balls boxes full of the cartridges. So watch the video and see the results, and you'd be impressed. And also, all the paper cartridges use the Johnson & Dow bullet. Okay, that's the bullet I used when I made those combustible paper cartridges. So enjoy the video and see the results. Alright, since we're out here testing, I still have some combustible paper cartridges made up from when I started the initial testing, and my sight fell off, and this was kind of giving me problems with back pressure the more I fired these. So I have several of these things here, and I'll try, I'm going to try to load these in. That one don't look like it wants to go. I'm going to load up a few cylinders of combustible paper cartridges and check the nipples out for back pressure. Okay, well, after a little struggling with that one, I got the other vast majority of them to go in there. That's the one thing I was afraid of. If you let these sit for a while, you see they kind of start to come apart. I didn't quite glue them right. Like I told you, the biggest catch, biggest deal here is your gluing techniques. Things want to be evil. There we go. But yeah, it's when I was testing these out, that's when I ran into a problem where the sight fell off and I was getting that back pressure. So we're gonna see how many I might have. I think I got them boxes full with some. I'm going to see about running maybe 2-3 cylinders of the combustible paper cartridges and see if that back pressure problem acts up again. Okay, combustible paper cartridges. This is like the 4th cylinder. Now I use the snail capper. The caps are going on nice and easy, number 11s, no trouble, no build up on the nipples, unlike the bronze ones. Yeah, and there's a little bit more report to these paper cartridges. And again, caps are flattening out, but staying on that side. One of them fell out. They actually drop out the side, like they should. Okay. As you see again, they're inside. They're staying inside the recess of the cylinders, pretty consistent. Looks like them side holes blow them out and keep them in there. And I kept all of them in the dining. Well, I got some more. I'm going to load them up and we'll see how if the pressure builds up or runs into a problem with it. That's what we're kind of testing here. Okay, this is our second round with paper cartridges, and it was like 3, 4, it's like the 6th cylinder. A little bit of drag on the nipples. They're starting to get fouled up, but doing a lot of shooting too. But so far so good, no cap jams. Last time we come out with this, it jammed the whole damn gun right up. I had to take it apart. Yeah, something might have got down in there. Yeah, with the fouling building up, kind of snapping off, but it's not a jam. It's dragging a little. Yeah, see. And paper cartridges have a tendency to build up some pressure. After you get 2, 3 cylinders of them, the paper inside there does that. Last one. You can see, I mean, some of these caps, like this one here, it's totally flailed out. But they are catching. They are dropping out like they're supposed to where they're not going back and down into the action like I described. Alright, I got one more grouping of them paper cartridges, and we'll see if we can get another cylinder out. Okay, these are the last bunch I had in one of Cap and Ball's boxes, and I believe these are the ones I glued with a paintbrush and glued the cases by hand when I did that video. So these have been sitting around for a few months. We're going to see if we can get them loaded in here fairly easily. Make sure that it's seated all the way and rotated. Okay. So now we're getting to finally test our combustible paper cartridges also. What I worry about, I had a couple of them hit, and you can't see now. This one barely did. Barely. I mean, they are fun. They are neat, fun to make. Alright, buildup isn't getting to me. That's what I'm checking for. I rotate it to see. Sometimes the cylinder will have some residue in there and you don't seat it down far enough. And then that bullet will hit when you rotate it around. And then, kind of have to take the gun apart. But so far, so good. Last one. Okay. Clean all the gunk out. Little bits of lead stuff. And then I'm going to cap it with our snail capper and go down and call it a day. Okay, it's going to be our last cylinder full, and this is paper cartridges. And so far so good, but they do give a little bit more report than the standard load. What I'm trying to say is there's more back pressure. Yeah. Them nipples are getting pretty flattened out there. No jams yet. Yep, no jams. Sorry, I can't really see. All right, there. So yeah, those caps are pretty well flattened out, but we're still rotating free. All right. Go check the accuracy of our paper cartridge, combustible paper cartridges with the Johnson & Dow bullet. Well, as you can see, accuracy is not a problem with our Johnson & Dow and them combustible paper cartridges. Actually, that's pretty damn good. I mean, that's 3 cylinder loads right there. All but 1 or 2 are in that diamond, maybe 3. So, got that gun tuned up, got the sight back on. So, looks like the nipples are working, and these combustible paper cartridges did not do too bad. Alright, I'm going to have a conclusion video on all the things we tested today.